Hello, and welcome back to Ask the Trade Pros. It's your favorite show where a couple of trade guys just talk about trade stuff. We're here to answer your questions about HVAC, electrical, plumbing, and any other home system so you can keep your home running smoothly. I am Jordan.
Hi, I'm Todd. It's our job as trade pros to show up for our customers and take care of home issues and maintenance. But a lot of maintenance and repairs can be taken care of by homeowners themselves. While it may take a little time to learn, handling certain repairs and maintenance can save you a lot of time, money, and stress in the long run.
For those issues that can be taken care of by homeowners, it helps to already have the right tools on hand to get the job. So today we're going to talk a little bit about some of our go-to tools for taking care of maintenance and around the home.
So let's talk about that. So I guess for a basic homeowner, everyone needs some sort of a toolbox, right? You do hang pictures, you hang blinds, you work on toilets, sinks.
Well, after our show, they're going to be able to work on everything.
Yeah, we're going to teach them everything you need to know.
Get yourself in trouble.
You never need to call anyone after this, so pay very close attention to everything we say here. So
go ahead, Todd. Talk a little bit about how what tools you need for your home. And this, I know you're kind of a tool guy, so we're not going to go into some of the specialized tools that you love to have around, but just something the average homeowner might need to do the basic repairs we help them know how to do.
Yeah. So I guess what you would expect to see for the basic homeowner or maybe the first time homeowner is you're probably going to want a small sort of toolbox to keep your tools in. In that toolbox, you're going to need things like a tape measure, right? You're going to need to measure for those window coverings or blinds. So tape measure is going to be a very important one. A hammer, you're going to need some sort of small hammer, nothing large like a sledgehammer or framing hammer.
Give it a little more detail. I know you just said framing hammer. So a lot of these are first time tool buyers, right? They don't know the difference between a ball pin hammer and a framing hammer and what kind of hammer are they looking for? Size, shape?
Well, so hammers are rated in ounces. So I guess depending on your size or stature, you're going to want something small, right? You're not framing. So in your toolkit, you're going to want probably something with a flat head on it. A framing head has grooves in it. So that flat surface, if you're hanging pictures or something like that, you're going to need something large enough to get the job done and drive the nail in, but nothing too extreme. So I would just recommend a basic hammer for hanging those pictures. You're going to need screwdrivers, right? So flat head screwdriver, Phillips head screwdriver. You're probably going to want some nails and screws to go along with that, depending on what you're doing. Another big thing that you're going to want is probably a level for hanging those pictures. You're going to want to make sure you're hanging those pictures straight, or
maybe some people don't want them straight.
Yeah, or shelves. Who doesn't want that crooked shelf?
Everything slides to the end. It's easy. Makes it easy to clean. I talk a little bit more about the screwdrivers. These days, there's a lot of good options in basic screwdrivers for you to get in your toolbox. It used to be you just had a set. You'd have a couple different size Phillips, a couple different flatheads. Now, very popular are these all-in-one screwdrivers you get at any hardware store. They can have 8-in-1s, 11-in-1s. You can have a whole handle full of bits. It gives you a lot of variety because you never know. You're assembling something from IKEA, might need an Allen head. It's assembling something else, it might want a torque head, and you'll have those in there. So on the screwdriver set, I'm a big fan of these all-in-one multi-purpose screwdrivers.
Yeah, it has all the most popular sizes of all those Torx.
Which, by the way, is the start head, if you guys don't know what a Torx is.
Yeah, so that's a good point for the screwdriver. Another big thing you're going to want is a ladder, right? How you going to hang those pictures of the blinds without a ladder? Now, we could talk a lot about ladders, I'm sure. Do you have a step ladder? Do you want an A-frame ladder?
3 steps, 4 steps, 2 steps.
Yeah, so nowadays they have multi-position ladders, which are becoming very popular for homeowners, and you could position them for an extension ladder. You can position it to go on a stairwell. You could position it for an A-frame, multi-adjustable. So that's probably would be my choice for a one-size-fits-all application.
I love those ladders too. We have several of them. I would just always advise somebody when you're buying your first ladder, think about where you might use use it. If you're using it, go on a roof. It needs to go a couple of rungs above the roof, so it needs to be long enough to get up to the roof. Where that comes in is, say you get a 17-foot ladder, but you have a 15-foot roof. Is that going to sit up high enough above the roof? These multi-positionals are great. They're usually very sturdy ladders, but you also want to keep in mind a weight limit on ladders. Those of us that ask the trade pros, we love food, so we get the heavy-duty ladders, but you want to make sure that your ladder's of sufficient strength to hold you and whatever packages you are taking up the ladder.
Yeah, what about a socket set? What do you think about that for a homeowner toolkit? I think a basic socket set would probably be necessary if you're putting together a bed frame or something like that.
It is. There's a lot of home assembly things you want to do, things around the home that use it. Obviously, as trade pros, we don't use sockets as much because we use drills and sockets attached to drills and stuff like that. We don't use the sets as much as a homeowner would, but there's a lot of applications where you could use a basic socket set.
And you just brought up another good point, too, that now I'm going down a whole nother path here. So you mentioned drill. I think every homeowner should have a cordless drill unless you have your old grandfather's corded drill.
Hey, I had a Milwaukee drill I got from my father that weighs probably 5 pounds, but it's been running forever.
And you need a extension cord to go with that drill, right?
Oh, absolutely. You get tangled up in the cord while you're drilling something and you trip, and it's great. It's fun. A lot of fun.
Nowadays, cordless drills are fairly inexpensive. They have many different brands and options that are less expensive than others. I would say a good homeowner brand drill would probably be a Ryobi, fairly inexpensive, and to get the job done for the DIYers, we'll say.
Yeah, it just depends. Again, these are tools, so just like anything else you use, depends on how much you think you're going to be using it. You get features and benefits and durability as you move up the price range, but if you pull that drill out once every 3 months or once every 6 months to hang a picture, then you really probably don't want to be spending hundreds on your drills. A lot of that equipment too, I would just recommend to customers to pay attention to Black Friday sales or holiday sales. They oftentimes sell a bundle set now where you can get a couple of different tools that work perfectly for that, and you can get them in a set.
Good point, because with that tool bundle, you're also going to get your circular saw, a flashlight, which every tool kit, we both forgot about that. Flashlight's very important. What are you going to do when that power goes out? You need some sort of flashlight.
Yeah, flashlights are great. I mean, I love flashlights. I have dozens of flashlights literally, but the regular homeowner probably just wants a couple good ones that are reliable and they light up what they need to do. If you're working at night, hanging Christmas lights or holiday lights, or if you hear a bump in the night and you want to go out and see what it is, a good flashlight with a bright LED bulb these days is a very useful tool.
Let's talk about plungers. Do you think the homeowner should have a plunger?
I love that. It works about 50% of the time, and the other time you have to call a trade pro because you just clogged it up worse. But a plunger is a good tool. If you know how to use it properly, you have to use the plunger correctly.
I like the one that's shaped like a shotgun and it shoots air down the drain.
Yeah, that might be a little excessive for the average homeowner, unless you're comfortable with it. They have air guns and such, but they're a lot of fun for plumbers, but I don't know if the regular homeowner wants that. Plunger's a very good tool. I like a crescent wrench. I personally want 2 or 3 different size crescent wrenches. If you know how to use them properly, they can cover almost anything in the house that you'll run into.
Yeah, and that will take away most of your sockets.
In some cases, you take away the sockets. The ratchet of the socket is easier for me on some things, but we're not going to get too complex here if you're building a basic tool set. Remember, vice grip is not the solution to everything, or pliers does not open everything.
Yeah, that reminds me of one big thing that we forgot to mention. Every household needs some sort of spray oil, WD-40. You have creaky door hinges or sliding glass door wheels that have dirt in the track. Always have a can of a good spray oil.
All you need is WD-40 and duct tape. We got the whole house down.
There you go. One size fits all. That's what my grandfather always said. WD-40 and duct tape and you can fix anything.
Right. That works for a lot of homeowners. And if it doesn't, you call your local trade pro. We're happy to help you out.
While there are plenty of home issues that you could take care of, call your local trusted trade pro if you ever are in need of assistance or additional help.
Yes, especially if you just used the wrong tool and broke it worse, we're happy to come out and help you. But thanks again for listening today. I hope you learned something useful, and be sure to follow us for more trade pro advice.
And if you want to know more about a topic, send us a voicemail or an email, and we may talk about it in a future episode. Check out the show notes for our contact information.
This podcast, as always, is sponsored by the great folks at Done Right Services. Thank you for your support.